6 questions that we think you should be asking in your questionnaires. My name is Todd Martin, and I'm the National Sales Manager here at Nova. We've got a lot of really informative slides to get through within the next 30 minutes, so without further delay, I'd like to introduce to you our 2 presenters who are going to highlight several typical RFP questions you most likely have in your current RFP templates and provide you with some insight on how to refine them to get the answers you really need to find the right TPA partner. Just a reminder to those in attendance, this presentation is being recorded and a PDF will also be sent to your inbox for you to use as a reference in the future. As we go through the webinar, Marla Moreland, Nova's Business Development Executive, is going to set up many of the status quo style questions she frequently sees in templates and emails, as well as those often presented to her during sales calls. From there, Diane Steinhardt, our Director of Client Services, will discuss how you can tweak these questions to get the answers you're really looking for in a partner. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Marla for her to take over. Thanks, Marla.
All right. Thanks so much, Todd. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I think we're going to, there we go. We just had to move one more slide ahead. In today's benefit market, unfortunately, it's so easy to weigh your decision on selecting a benefit partner based on price alone. As I speak with brokers and consultants pretty much on a daily basis, they share stories with me about clients who have decided to stick with their current carrier, who they've actually been really unhappy with or have had big service issues and issues with plan design, really just because they, in the last second, provided rate relief or waived their renewal increase altogether. So some of the brokers have commented that with all the errors and service issues that still continue, it's highly likely that staying with their current partner could actually be costing them more. So I think the right partner has to deliver more than the cheapest fees or zero increase at renewal. And I think that employers, brokers, consultants, HR folks just need to kind of step back a little bit and look at the savings, the selection, support, and satisfaction that the potential partner can bring to the table. A strong and effective partner in the self-funding world could save around 10 to 25% over traditional insurance plans, provided that the right customized solution has been selected and the partner provides really strong employer, member, and broker level support, which of course leads to overall satisfaction for everybody involved. So welcome to RFP land. The RFP process can sometimes be the first opportunity you really get to know everything your potential partner does and how they handle various processes. So just like the slide says, the more you refine your RFP questions, the better you can determine the right benefits partner for your clients and provide the insights they need. The sales folks may have had discussions and met with the broker or the consultant representing the employer client, but the questions and answers between salespeople can sometimes be a higher level compared to what you should be asking in an RFP, so digging down into the details a little more. And we all know RFP land can be a very scary place for both the requester and the responder if you haven't revised your template in a while and added some more of those open-ended and in-depth questions. So you may only be getting those high-level answers, which can lead to a plethora of surprises and tons of clarifying questions during the implementation period. So I think we have a poll question. You know, Sarah, are we going to put up a poll question?
We are.
Awesome. And this was kind of just out of curiosity, but when is the last time you updated your RFP questions, those questions that you're sending out to vendors, future partners? So I'm just curious to see how often you've updated. And we'll give you a few seconds to answer that question. Yeah, and just looking at the results as they're coming in, it looks pretty good that 60% in the last year have updated them. So that's good. I think I'm talking to a group that would like to listen. So we only have about 30 minutes, so we narrowed down the topics that usually matter most to a client and formulated some typical RFP questions around each. Diane is our Director of Client Services, so she's in the trenches every day with the operations team and the client, so we think her insight to refining RFP questions is very enlightening. She's involved with the client from the initial sale through the duration of the contract, so she has some keen knowledge on how to dig down into the weeds and pull out more informative answers from the current or potential benefit partner. So let's take a look at the first question that is typically asked, and I see all the time regarding savings. Something we often see in an RFP request is in regard to networks we have access to. So while geographical access and strong discounts are very important, there is so much more to it than that. There's so much more to savings. So Diane's going to explain a little bit on how to refine this question and really get the responder to expand on it. Take it away, Diane.
Hi, everybody. Everybody is interested in discounts. However, reported discounts can be misleading. If facilities don't update their charge masters, discounts can appear to be low, but if they bill above the reasonable rates, discounts look very high. Isn't it more important to know what the actual cost of the plan is for a service? Currently, when looking at similar services for our clients, most fee schedules are relatively the same regardless of network. Internally, we recently had a $349,000 claim, which had a negotiated DRG rate, which is the all-inclusive rate, pre-negotiated. That payment was $81,000. It looks great that we potentially saved a client based on network negotiations of a 77% discount. However, when we look at others, they bill what they know they're going to get paid. So it appears that we received a 0% discount on that claim. Either way, though, the cost of the plan is the same. We recently were able to validate this with a client that joined Nova back in 2015. They were very excited that the network that we chose as the best fit for them had access to a hospital system that they previously didn't have access to. They kept telling us that it would be great for their associates, however, it was going to cost them more, as they felt this hospital system was more expensive than others in their area. When we looked at the discount solely, the hospital system was only showing about a 2 to 5% discount, and it was really confirming their assumption. However, when we had enough data to look at like services such as the maternity billing and inpatient services at that hospital, we were able to show them that the hospital system was right on par cost-wise with the others in their area that were showing much higher discounts. A more refined question would be, can you provide examples of saving strategies that your organization delivers beyond network discounts? There's several saving strategies that can be implemented to get a better understanding of how a TPA will work to achieve the highest savings for a plan. Is the TPA using claims audits, direct negotiation, medical management strategies such as length of stay and gap in care management, etc.? It would be very beneficial to understand a TPA's capabilities in these areas in conjunction with network disruptions and discounts.
Okay, that is a good point, Diane. I really think the main goal in providing savings should be to improve the health of the population and really avoid having that claim altogether, regardless of discounts that are available. So I think that's a pretty good segue into our next question, since medical management plays such a huge role in reducing healthcare costs. I think it would be imperative for a TPA to provide these services, and it's important to have the key components of case management, disease management, or utilization review, wellness. But what proven results are really expected? Is it a one-size-fits-all care management program? How do they drive participation? And the question we see, what wellness and medical management services do you provide? We might be able to change that up a little bit and get more information.
So standard utilization review and case management for those who have one-time occurrences and disease management for chronic conditions are services that most TPAs provide. The more refined question of can you provide a customized approach to medical management that addresses specific conditions and trends in my population? If yes, please describe and provide an example. It will help determine if they can take those services a step further and look at the data available in order to analyze what is driving the specific plan costs and then determine how they can manage that trend for each client. In looking at 2 ER utilization reports for 2 clients at NOVA, we came up with 2 very different recommendations. The first client, we discovered that the members weren't taking their maintenance asthma medication or picking up their diabetic supplies. We determined that the cost of the medications and the supplies were an issue for that population. The recommendation to that client was to eliminate the copays altogether for those items. The outcome was a significant increase to member compliance, resulting in much lower costs to the plan over time. It was actually quite remarkable the amount of money that they saved by spending out a little bit more upfront. The second population had the same issue, very high ER utilization, but the data showed that they had unusually high numbers of pregnancies. The new moms were taking their infants to the ER for issues that could have been treated at a lower level of care. Our medical management team created a program in which they were given access, the members were given access to care navigators in their 8th month. They helped the new moms find pediatricians, urgent care centers, and input the 24-hour nurse line into their phones. And the result, again, was a better experience for the member and a lower cost to the plan. Does a prospective TPA have the ability to create customized programs, such as the New Mothers Program, tailored to a specific population? Can they help navigate their care, and will the programs manage trend and plan performance? Hopefully this question will provide those answers for a prospective client.
Okay, thanks, Diane. Okay, our next question. What is your average speed to answer and average handle time for customer service? Include related performance guarantees. Overall plan performance and being able to positively impact it, I think, is a key deciding factor when choosing a good benefit partner. So when we talk about performance, we're commonly asked about performance guarantees. And a higher performing organization, a higher performing TPA should never shy away from this conversation. It's necessary to have an open and candid conversation around this topic because clients want some assurance that they're going to receive a high level of service. So they may have been burned in the past by another benefit partner with poor service, and they want some degree of commitment from their new administrator that these issues won't happen again. But if you're just looking at turnaround times or fast call times, average speed of answer, how do those things really affect their bottom line? Is speed necessarily a good measure of accuracy? Is the member getting all their concerns addressed on their call, the first call? There might be some other metrics that are more important around performance guarantees. So Diane, how do you think we could ask this question so that the client could get a good comfort level around performance?
It's always good to service a member in a timely manner, but does it really outweigh quality? Is it more important to get people off the phone quickly and take the next call or address their call concerns at the first time? Clients typically want performance guarantees so their members aren't aggravated on the phone, and they want to make sure that they have a partner who pays claims timely and accurately. This is a standard expectation. So the question of how do you balance your call efficiency with member engagement may become more helpful in learning about a TPA. Let me give you an example. A member calls in requesting an additional ID card. The box gets checked and the member will have their card in a few days. The call can end there, or the customer service rep can check with the member on an auth request in the system that they can see is for an out-of-network provider. Would it be more helpful if they could educate the member on their plan and help them locate an in-network provider? or they may see that a nurse has been able or been trying to reach the member as part of a disease management program. The customer service rep can ask if it's a good time for that member to speak with a nurse, or they may be able to set up a follow-up call at the member's convenience. This approach increases the member's satisfaction and decreases the need for another call, and it helps control spend for both the member and the plan. Understanding that good customer service is more than just answering the phone, care navigation is a critical element to providing exceptional customer service.
Okay, I agree. Care navigation truly does tie in with customer service, but I think absolutely ties in with member engagement. And a question that I always love this question, a question we get a lot that isn't necessarily, you might not think that it's associated with member engagement, but sometimes I think it is. But there's always a little mystery around why the requester is asking it. Are they looking at asking, do you have an app as a method of convenience for their members? Or I think personally sometimes it's asked to determine if the company is tech savvy and current with technology, not still paying claims on paper worksheets and cutting manual checks. I think I just dated myself there, but if they're expecting to engage members and get them to utilize the online mobile resources they have and participate in activities designed around an app, asking about member engagement might get you more information from the responder. So let's look at that refined question.
We see this question all the time, and I agree, Marla. It's interesting as to why it's asked. When we look at the utilization of health and wellness apps, the numbers are always very low. I believe the question is really around technology and member engagement. The refined question of what services do you offer to increase member engagement allows the TPA to highlight all the areas of member engagement that they can provide: care navigation, staffing, medical management programs, web portals, text messaging, and email, would name a few. The goal is to keep members engaged in their health management as well as keep the costs in check.
Okay, great. All right. I think this might be our last question. When we talk about engagement, then I think the next gradual or the obvious step is that clients would want to see the results of the various engagement levels and how it affected the plan performance. So reporting is essential in self-funding. So this question, what type of reporting do you offer? I think it's a key ingredient. Reporting is a key ingredient to monitoring and managing the plan because access to data equals knowledge, which I think equals more control. So knowing what type of reporting is available assures the broker and the client that the TPA or benefits partner can provide the data and in what format, but does the reporting really tell a story of what's happening with the plan? Does it provide recommendations or actionable strategies based on the data reported? So Diane, as a client service director, you're delivering reports and explaining them to clients all the time. So how could a client ask this question to get a more robust and informative response?
Well, the more refined question, what kind of data do you report and how is information shared to make informed decisions? NOVA's financial and clinical reporting is provided on a regular basis. A client should be looking for a TPA that goes beyond identifying high cost drivers and reports on actionable items such as trend management, gaps in care, and call center information. It's very helpful to know why members are calling in. It helps us understand the story the data is telling. It's not about cutting benefits, but more about being creative. We've actually been able to increase benefits for members and lower the cost for clients. Not that we wouldn't recommend an increase if an ER copay was significantly low and utilization was high. NOVA continually looks for trends and provides strategic recommendations based on the reporting numbers. Data integration is key in helping us achieve this comprehensive picture of an individual member as well as the group population as a whole. Biometric screening and pharmacy data integration, the ability to integrate outside data and lab work provides more of a holistic perspective into the health population management based on multiple data sources. This allows for identification of trends and diseases prevalent in the population to make customized utilization programs. It's not about cutting benefits, it's about making recommendations that benefit both the member and the client. Anyone can claim to save you thousands of dollars by increasing costs to the member to offset the plan costs. We use the data to find opportunities to maximize savings for the plan and create a benefit to the member.
Okay, great. Well, I guess that wasn't the last question. Sorry about that. Our last question is, can you duplicate my current plan design? And again, you may not feel like it is related to medical management, but I'll give you some perspective on why we feel like it is. When new clients come on board with NOVA, we commonly recommend that we duplicate their current plan for the first year, especially if the employer is moving from fully insured to self-funded, or if we don't have access to past data, claims data. So we gather that, so we would want to gather that so that we can get to know the population and have an apples-to-apples comparison and really set benchmarks. So knowing that the current design can be duplicated is very important, but if claims data is available, a higher performing TPA should be able to recommend a plan design that is going to address the unique needs and some of the challenges of their specific population. So you may get a more detailed answer and find out the true capabilities of the potential partner if it gets asked a different way.
So the refined question, how do you guide clients to build a customized benefit plan? Clients want the least amount of member disruption when they move to a new TPA. However, if you continually keep the same plan design, you're not maximizing the benefit of self-funding. Duplicating plan design in year one is appropriate to allow for the collection of data. However, in time, when looking at trends, claims, and the calls that are coming in, the ability to analyze the data and provide the most appropriate benefit recommendations based on their unique population is imperative. Regardless of the benefit plan you start with, having a TPA that's looking at the cost drivers during that first year should provide population-specific recommendations in the following years that are tailored to the client's specific needs. We had a client that had high instances of back pain and pain medication usage, and we noticed in the very first year that they had very high copays for their chiro and PT benefit. It was a $45 copay. And if you've been to the chiropractor, you know that a visit is not $45. So we were able to make a recommendation to them that they may want to lower that copay and hopefully alleviate some back surgeries in the future, as well as lower some pain medication usage. In this instance, we recommended the change early in the partnership, and it resulted in increased health management for that client.
Okay, as a wrap-up, we created this webinar to highlight what everyone always seems to ask from a sales perspective, but when you're going out to bid, it's important to ask potential vendors these types of refined questions because they really touch on the client and the member experience, which is ultimately the most important aspect to the process. So thank you so much, Diane, and thank you all for attending our webinar today. I hope you found it informative or at least opened your creative mind a little bit to phrase questions so that you can get the response that can help you make a truly informed decision on who you choose as a benefit partner. So I'm going to check real quick and see if we have any questions.
I don't have any submitted, Marla.
Okay, well, thank you again, and if something does come to mind after this webinar, please feel free to contact me or email sales@novahealthcare.com. Thanks so much. Have a great week, everyone.